will only have a new generation of leaders when we have a new generation of voters. And my idea is not to change the world, but rather to change the mind that will change the world, because true leadership is in delegation.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it is another lovely evening of glitz and glamour, and I'm standing right here with an award winner. He is the Positive Impact Influencer of the Year in Past Influencer Awards 2024. How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. I feel fulfilled. I feel good, and I feel that voices are amplified, because this award is dedicated to everyone who comes together for a better cause. And we saw that in Kenya in June, where Gen Zs and everyone else came out to protest. So this award is part of a very bigger cause. Yeah.
And of course, just for the ones who don't know you, kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Willie Oeba, for those who know me. For those who don't know me, my name is still Willie Oeba. I'm a spoken word artist, and I'm a proud Naxvegan. I come from Nakuru, and I do civic education in Matatu. I perform in Matatus, I perform in flights, I perform everywhere, I inject, and just telling people that we will only have a new generation of leaders when we have a new generation of voters. And my idea is not to change the world, but rather to change the mind that will change the world, because true leadership is in delegation.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. Why the decision to take this course?
I was almost shot in 2017 for mistaken identity. So back in Nakuru, there's a gang called Confirm. So the guys who send you text messages, they tell you, I've sent you 1,000, but please send back. So it started in Nakuru. So at that time in 2017, they were stereotyping everyone who has dreadlocks, everyone who was a youth, everyone who has, and you know, at that time I have dreadlocks, and baby locks are the ugliest faces of dreadlocks. So I was stereotyped, so I was almost shot, and then I realized that if I don't use my talent and my gift to amplify voices, this is what youths and this is what people will go through on a daily. So I started using my voice and my poetry to amplify, because again, if we stop writing, then what happens to people who cannot hold the mic, people who cannot hold the pen? So I use poetry to amplify the voices of the vulnerable people in the community. Yeah.
And as Gen Z, we have protested, we have gone to the streets, we have lost life. Do you think it was worth it? Yes,
it was worth it. And the best thing that we achieved now, the conscience of the nation has been pricked. And now people realize we need to be active. We need to participate in our civic, we need to participate in our democratic, we need to participate in political processes, because it affects us in one way or the other. The healthcare systems, the funding models, it affects us. The infrastructure, it affects us. The taxation, it affects us. And as I said, we'll only have a new generation of leaders when we have a new generation of voters. So I believe in subsequent elections, we will not have the voter apathy that we saw in other elections. So things will be better, things will change, because now our collective conscience as a nation has been pricked.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of new leaders, do you believe that we should impeach the deputy president?
It is enshrined in the Constitution when we don't have it's called vote of no confidence. When we as a people, when we as a nation, and power in Kenya is delegative, and the MPs represent us directly in Parliament. We have given them that mandate through the Article 1. So power is given representative democracy. And if we feel as a nation, and that is what we feel right now as a nation, that the current leadership is detached from us. So we don't even need a scandal. We don't need violation of the Constitution. We just need a vote of no confidence. And I feel the general feeling of the audience, of the public, not only the Deputy President, but also the Parliament, the Senate, the representative from the MCAs, they have detached from the people. And I think the only thing that is saving everyone else from that discourse is that we don't have an IEBC that is not reformed. But I believe once we have the IEBC, things will change, and people will either go home or step up. But even the larger discourse is, you see, these people who are in parliament, these people who are in the executive, these people who are in the county representatives, they were elected by we the citizens. So technically, our leaders are the reflection of what we are. So we need to, because if we impeach the DP today, we will have another corrupt DP because the system is violated. So we need to overhaul the system, and the only way we can overhaul the system is through the revolution of the mindset, and that is why we must keep the conversation going. We must keep injecting, we must keep doing civic education. Everyone out there, use your tool. Every small little, I use poetry, you use media, comedy, music, and we will have a new generation whereby we'll not have to impeach one or two people, but we'll have systems that will work. Yeah.
And there are those who are of the opinion that this impeachment and the whole process from the National Assembly to the Senate, that is just a ploy to keep us off shift, to keep us off their Danny deals. Do you think it is?
I think either it is by design or just naturally things are just happening, but so many other things are a decoy to keep us excited for the moment while other things are going on. Like right now, you see we have 30 years Adani deal to transmit power, and I don't think they went through the public participation. It was just gazetted the other day. The airport, the Shah and the chief, these things are being done under the radar, and we are being distracted either by design or naturally, but we need to stay focused as Kenyans. And we need to own our mistake. There's a piece I did, it's called Dear Citizen. It's out on YouTube, where it says before election, the president aliona potential voters. After elections, sahi anaona taxpayers. But people knew these things before elections. But we as citizens are blinded by politics, ethnic, we are divided within ethnic lines. But we need now to vote track record and not alliances. We need to select people who have worked and people who are certified. And again, I would love to tell Gen Zs and everyone who is advocating for youthful leadership that this fight is not a generational strife. This fight is against corruption and for good governance. So we are not fighting the old people. We want the old people in government. We want everyone in government, because even boomers, silent generation, I personally am a millennial. But it's not a fight against one generation and the other. It is a fight against incompetence. So if you could have Generation X or the silent or the boomers who are working, well and good. But right now we need to have new people in systems or leadership who are not corrupted. Because we have good leaders, they go to parliament and they have to conform to the corrupt systems. So we need a total overhaul. And we will only do this through a long game. We'll only do this through the citizens, because leadership in Kenya is delegative. And I would love to say that we are a representation, our leaders are a representation of who we are, because we ask for our handouts, we ask for temporary pleasures, and we are excited by very little things like the impeachment, and we are not seeing things like Shah. Our elderly people are going through such a hard time, going to hospitals. Day before yesterday I was at the hospital, and people are going for dialysis. People wanted to go for C-section, and they had no insurance, they have no cash, and you have to pay in cash. And the government is lying that they will reimburse the cash that these people have used. So I have to tell everyone that just use what you have, and Kenya will be a better place. Yeah.
And we know that you have a trip coming up to inject as well.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
Wow, so I'm traveling on Sunday to Milan, Italy. I'm going to continue advocating on the use of art for social change. You know, initially, art was just used to entertain. But now we are changing the narrative. We want to mainstream art in the conversation of social change. Also, I am celebrating 10 years as a spoken word artist. Yes, the event will be on the 12th of December at the Kenya National Theatre. You're invited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be there.
Thank you so
and thank you so much for your time as well.